back to probably the first thing we've done on Eric's Drink Whiskey that makes sense.
Night and day.
In a carryover from our Sunday evening sipping, we decided to do a little deep dive into these hidden gems. That is Smokehead. You may have, if you follow us on social media, you know that we now have a blog, Eric's Drink Whiskey Straight from the Barrel. Smokehead is going to be briefly featured in that blog, where I ramble about why it's easier to find a cheap scotch that you know nothing about that's good than it is bourbon. And then just a little rant that carries on from what we talked about Sunday. But that's not why we're here. We're here to drink some good scotch.
Yay!
I ran out. If you remember, I had the high voltage and the Rum Rebel. Eric had the high voltage and the Sherry Bomb. And now, in true Eric's Drink Whiskey fashion, we have all three. I mean, just look at the packaging. It begs to be bought. So, figure we'll just pour some of these and probably need to go rum, sherry, and high voltage.
Okay.
I think.
I'm okay with that.
Well, I think both of these are 40. No, that's right. 46, 48, and then 1,000,002 or whatever it is.
50. Yeah, not cast strength.
But I'm pleased as punch that you randomly found these this weekend, because
I'm glad I just have these like I know everybody's in this hobby and we're all just like looking for something new, but like I'm glad that I have the weird screwed up mind to just like dive through the annals of weird scotches.
Well, I mean, I love the name. I love the branding, the packaging. So it wasn't a stretch for me when you sent a picture. It was like, you ever heard of these people before?
It was a stretch for me.
It was a stretch for you. This is really odd. It is not traditional like Scotch packaging.
Yeah, like this. Okay, for those out there, I knew that Eric would love this packaging. I love, like, I just happen to have a Battle Hill with me, but like this is me nerding out.
Yeah, no, that's normally what I go for. I mean, I think when we did New Riff.
Yep.
New Riff is not a bottle that I would look at on the shelf and go, yes, that's I'm very much a traditionalist when it comes to my bottles. So yeah, this was definitely out of the comfort zone, but it just looks cool as hell. The name's cool as hell, and
it went on the same lines of the Majesty's Queen. It was like single malt, Islay, Sherry Bomb, 48%, $60. This has got to be good.
or at least it can't be bad.
It can't be bad.
There is another offering in this lineup, and it is just a regular, like, it's not finished or anything. It's essentially high voltage at, I think, 92 proof or 96.
I think it's 96.
Because even it wasn't a slouch.
Yeah, none of them came in at 80.
Which that's fine by me. If you got yours poured, brother man, let's drink some rum finished Islay.
Okay.
Does anyone else do that? I mean, I know
Balvenie does, but
I know, yeah, Balvenie. I know there's the Glenlivet Caribbean Reserve.
Yeah, as far as like just a true blue Caribbean rum, these are the only ones I've kind of heard of, Scotch wise. I know there's some like offshoot ones like Glenfodry and
yeah,
like they do some like it'll say like finished in some form of weird rum that's not Caribbean rum, but I don't know. But this is the only one that's just like, this is rum. That's what we're finishing it in.
Rum. So. And I've never heard of an Islay doing it.
No, that is
I love rum finish and I love Islay, so.
And initially, that's why I didn't buy that one. Eric bought it and said it was good, so then I went to go buy it. But initially, I was like, I am not buying that. Like, that's exactly what I said. I was like,
we're not exactly the same, but it's just good Islay Scotch to begin with.
It's a little more crispier, like the rum. The rum's not like deeply overpowering. It's more like a I don't know. It's more like a light rum. It's not, I don't get like a real thick like molasses type rum. It's fruity.
You can tell it's hanging out there in the background. It's adding some of that kind of tropical fruit essence to it, and it's giving it that round kind of profile that rum has. This smells more along the lines of like an Ardbeg. It's got some of that brininess. Again, kind of that. I'm getting kind of some caramel now. Let's drink it.
I know we've kind of thrown the barbecue term out for this one. This is very much like going to a old school pit barbecue restaurant, and that kind of back door out, like the outdoor smell of that fire.
It's just.
It's almost like it's the bits. It's like the charred bits of the meat.
It's the stale smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so many unpleasant terms that can be used to describe Islas. Stale smoke. This one I get that kind of wet pavement, which God I absolutely love. But what I also get, and I think is the uniqueness of the rum finish, that initial, hey, I'm an Islay Scotch, but then it's like a toasted marshmallow. There's just that like a creamy sweetness and a burnt sugar, and then you get some of those traditional rum notes, the kind of the bananas and some of those tropical flavors, but also burnt. So I think you used the doused campfire metaphor before. It's like you're eating a marshmallow that got burned as somebody's pouring water on the fire. I love that rum one. Again, it goes great with cooked animal of any variety.
It's see if you can follow me. It's a bit okay. I'm not insulting this whiskey by any stretch of the imagination. It tastes like they tried to emulate my favorite style of Islay, a high-aged sherry.
Okay.
But it's not quite there. It's kind of like how we talk about with bourbons. It's like, okay, I see what they were trying to go for. It's not. You kind of wish it had a little more age on it. For me, on this one, that's kind of where I am. Only because that rum finish, and the more and more I taste it, the more and more it's just. It's really dark. Like that, the back half of this whiskey is really dark, and
yeah,
it kind of fools you a little bit. You'd think with it being young that it's it's a little more vibrant, and I kind of smelled that. It smelled vibrant, but this is a dark whiskey. I don't like. I hate using that term, but that's about all I can come up with. It's got artificial depth. Does that make sense?
Maybe they're onto something with a rum finished Islay. I mean, We talk about Wee Beastie, and we'll probably talk about it even more when we get to the next pour. But I think being finished in sherry makes up for a lot of the fact that that whiskey is 5 years old.
Yeah, definitely. And also with the type of sherry they used, very much hinders on how they're trying to round out the beast.
Yeah, I think that I think this rounds it out better than sherry, maybe. Because if you told me this was 10, 12 years old, I'd believe you, even though it's probably only 6 to 8.
Right. Well, it's tough. It's tough too because obviously they don't disclose exactly how it was finished, and same with the sherry. But it's like with Scotch, there's so much leeway in parameters of finishing, where it's like you can legally say on a Scotch whiskey that this Scotch was finished in sherry, this Scotch was finished in second fill sherry, this Scotch was finished in sherry, this Scotch was finished in sherry, but this Scotch was finished in a first fill sherry barrel and it was there its entire life, and this one was in a like a third spent used sherry barrel.
Right.
And you get two completely different whiskeys, but they say the exact same thing on the bottle.
Right.
So that's kind of the muddledness of the legalities of finishing in the Scotch world and using their barrels, but with rum that's a whole nother thing, because it's about 40,000 different rums.
It picked up some good rum flavor, so it's been. I feel like
I'm glad I bought this. I'm glad I bought it.
Yeah. All right, on to sherry. I love that. It instantly, like, I poured it and it's visibly darker.
Yes.
And as I was corking it up, I got like a foie of just that beautiful sherry flavor.
Oh, and side by siding these, and because like I only had to like do this with the voltage, and I didn't get a whole bunch of difference with the voltage than I did with this on like a nose. But going from that rum to this is fruity.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't even. Honestly, this is so sherried. I can't even tell it's an Islay on the nose. It's just those classic sherry notes. Leaning more towards like the chocolate covered raisins. Some nice bright berries. I mean, it smells amazing.
Yeah, almost. It's like that like triple berry Costco Publix blend of frozen berries you get. It's like that. Raspberries. People say stone fruit.
Stone dark stone fruit. Like those fancy Brookstone chocolates.
Yeah.
Now I really want to drink this one.
Whew. That one had a little bite to it. Now what a completely different whiskey. This shows its youth more, but not in a bad way.
It does, but not as young as I think it is. I don't get any of that cream, cheesy, young barley on this.
No.
It's the mouthfeel is completely different. It hits the front of your tongue. It's like velvety almost, velvety and sweet. You get those classic sherry notes. You get a little bit of smoke, more iodine than anything. But I think the thing that's most surprising is it's really drying. Like it's
and that's indicative that's indicative of the sherry.
Yeah. But I mean They didn't cheap out on a sherry finish on this. I mean,
I wonder what they used. Now this is like
it says Oloroso.
okay. I'm looking on the back here. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's it kind of the kind of back taste of that kind of reminds me of like off-brand Jello.
Jello with a G.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah, it's like maybe it's strawberry.
yeah, it's like strawberry, but there's like a twang in the back of it. It's like somebody got you like snack pack Jello or whatever it is, and but it was like snack pack spelled with a K, or like just a K.
That's so good.
I get that kind of cheesy charcuterie board on the nose, but not with the meat, like just cheese and grapes.
Yeah, it is there a little bit, but I get
not on the taste though.
I think a lot of that is just pure sherry too. Now, so I'm pleased as punch with the rum. I absolutely love that sherry. Not a daily drinker. I think it's a little punchy for that. But it's a good if you're only gonna have one drink, or if you're rounding the night out, that'd be a good one.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. I just said this isn't Lafroig, and I'm pretty sure it's still not. But I just find it convenient that this is also 48% alcohol.
I mean, that's a very common proof. It makes for easy math.
48. Most of them I've seen 46.
That's true.
It's very odd for the sherry whiskeys to be 48, and from Islay. Just no conspiracy here, but I think QAnon. I'm just kidding. All right. High voltage.
So I'm just looking at this glass now. I didn't notice this the other night. So the others are like a
opaque.
Dark. They're a dark, like blackish green, or like straight up like Budweiser brown.
Black socks.
This one is like a smoked. Hey, is the name? It's like a smoked gray. I think that's pretty cool.
Do you find it like the bottle style is almost like a beer?
It's
like if you go down the craft beer aisle, like I see a lot of those like single craft beers in that bottle.
Possibly. I mean, it's got kind of some Lafroig-y features.
Anderson Valley does like a English ale that was finished in wild turkey barrels.
Ooh,
it was really good, but it was in like a bottle similar to that. Anyway, I want to nose fuck this thing.
This one is 58% alcohol by volume.
Well, that's different.
Not finished.
This smells
Yum.
This smells like cream cheese, but with sugar in it.
See, I get more of a butter.
Okay, that might be what I'm trying to.
It
like
is,
not buttercream icing, but the smell of making it.
Yeah, like all the pieces are there. Yeah, I don't think it's full bore charcuterie. That's my band name, by the way, Full Bore Charcuterie. One thing I gotta say is, I think it jumped out on this one because one, it's a higher proof, and two, these other two were finished. But it goes away very quickly. Like you get that like initial like punch of that creamy barley, and then it's like, oh hey, look what else I have to offer.
It's very kind of reminiscent of it's like if the Naked Grouse did a peated version.
Yeah.
Like it's real rich. Like the naked grouse to me, it just reeks of if they made a cereal into a whiskey.
It smells so good. like the peat is faint, but it's there. But it's very very fragrant, very flurble. I think was what you coined in the chat the other night.
I am tired of nose fucking. I'm ready to finger lick. Cheers. Slanja.
Slanja.
Oh, what a different whiskey.
I love this whiskey.
I stand by my statement about the Naked Grouse.
It's full, it's rich, it's full-bodied, it's of dubious origins.
And this is the cheapest one of the bunch.
Yeah.
Or I mean, not the mainstream one, but of the two limiteds and this high proofer, like this is the cheapest one.
This is the cheapest one. I'd be anxious to try the low end, the $49.99. This to me is like drinking a cask strength, a high proof bourbon. I immediately get this thick, rich wave of brown sugar, like sweetness. But then it departs from bourbon because then there's like, oh hey, I'm peated, and now you're tasting wet gravel and smoke and a little bit of salt spray, a little bit of black pepper. It's really, really good.
It's like chocolate. It's like white chocolate covered pretzels.
Yeah, there is a breadiness there.
My tasting notes sound way more eccentric when I say them aloud instead of writing them down.
White chocolate pretzel. Yeah, these are white chocolate pretzels.
This tastes like full board charcuterie. This is good. This is really good. I would say I'm gonna go out, or personally, out of the three, this is the best buy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is such a good Scotch. I like the novelty of the other two. They each have something very unique that you're not gonna find in anything that I've tasted so far. But bang for your buck, that high voltage.
So now, given this episode and the blog that you wrote, price points on these. So the Sherry Bomb was 80. The rum finish was 70.
Right.
So I think that amongst the big name offerings of Islay whiskeys, that the age stated ones hold their candle for cheaper, but these kick the non-age stated big boy scotches asses.
Yeah.
Like I would buy any of these over the Lafroig Select, the Lafroig triple cask or triple wood, the Lafroig quarter cask. Like I would buy those over that.
The Ugadol, the Cordybracken, and the Enoa.
Yeah, like the cask strength ones are a little different, but the Enoa definitely I think that I would take this. I'll take that high voltage over Ardbeg 10.
Yeah.
We've talked about Wee Beastie and Ardbeg 10. About there's not that big of a difference between the two.
No, and actually, yeah, it's $30 more than Wee Beastie, but for the Sherry Bomb, I say yeah, it's $30 more than Wee Beastie.
I would say for a guaranteed, and we can't take into account too of the proof on these.
Right.
Not the high voltage, but the other ones.
That's a high proof for a mainstream Scotch.
Yeah. 48% at $80, and this is $80 now. The tariffs have been eliminated, so let's see when this next batch comes around.
Right.
So let's just take that into account. That's probably $15 cheaper-ish, maybe.
Yeah, and that dog will hunt all day long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't feel gypped paying what I paid for him.
No.
Yeah, it's a hell of a find. And again, going back to Sunday's chat and the blog, I would be hard pressed to find a random bourbon that is priced on the same level as some of the big name small batches, Knob Creek, Turkey, Elijah Craig, that tier of whiskeys. A random no name, you just picked it off the shelf, non-age stated, don't know where it's made. That is as good as in the bourbon world these scotches are.
You could say that the majority of those kind of big name NDP bourbons, we won't mention any names, are more than likely the same age as these. And these taste better, and they're probably the same price.
Yeah. The conundrum. And again, I love bourbon, but man, you can really find some gems with Scotch.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a lot easier to high floor, low ceiling.
The floor is higher. Yeah.
Floor is way higher for these.
Yeah, this was fun. We're all over the place now. We got a blog, we got YouTube, we got Facebook, we got Instagram, we got podcasts. We're taking over. They should have never let us on the internet, but they did. All of our social platforms have this fancy thing called Linktree now that's got all that information contained in it. You can hop around wherever you want. So please like, share, subscribe, and follow on whatever tickles your fancy there. We are, again, the blog is new for 2022. We're going to try some new stuff with the podcast for 2022. And we're bringing back with some consistency Sunday evening sip. And then surprisingly, you might find that everything is going to relate to each other and it's not going to be a disjointed mess. Fingers crossed. I really enjoy this one. These are fantastic. Thank you for that random picture on a Sunday morning.
I'm always good for some random Scotch pictures.
That's right. But until next time, folks, I don't have a glass that's got anything in it, but cheers.
Cheers.